Hello guys, Theo here on Common Sense. Today it's nice and sunny outside, but I'm here to remind you that even when it's cloudy, the sun is still shining. So it's kind of funny because, I put out that video recently, free weight loss and health hack, which basically just get out in the sun and move more. And I've been reminding people on my Instagram story that, hey, you know that the sun still has benefits when it's cloudy, right? The sun is still there. The sun is still shining. So it's been very nice weather here recently, but on a cloudy day, I thought that sentence to myself. Even when it's cloudy, the sun is still shining. And I realized it's the perfect metaphor for how you have to look at things while you're in a low state, while you're depressed. I put out a long video recently about the depression I went through this year. And so I'm gonna, explain this metaphor to you, deepen it. So the nature of the state is sometimes the way you feel about yourself and your life, the way you look at the world, it's dependent on your state, the state you currently find yourself in. And there are many different things that influence our state, physical health, nutrition, sleep, relationship, stress. All these things can affect the state, just the way we feel. And sometimes just changing one little thing will change the way you feel about many different other things that seemingly unrelated. So in my case, for instance, I went into starting my own business at the start of this year. Very excited, to finally go all the way with it. And but the change in my life that happens is that I'm more at home, even though I meet like friends at times at evenings and stuff, family stuff, and I go to the gym and train a bit, but the big change is that I spend the majority of my day just in a quiet room by a computer by myself, and it's fine to begin with, but I apparently get, as the extreme extrovert I am, I apparently get starved from this, and all of a sudden, I've been feeling great about myself, everything, my life, that I am in a position to start a business, that I have the knowledge, reach the results for myself, that I have the knowledge and capacity to pass it on. This is how I feel going into it. But more and more, I can't see this, It starts to slip away from me. All I see is the loneliness that, what the fuck, Like, even if I'm working with people online and talking to them, I don't get the true human contact, and my life just starts feeling abstract, Is this my life, Like, does life just happen in this little room, in this little apartment? And I get this feeling, in the city, like probably a lot can relate to. You're surrounded by millions of people, and yet you feel so lonely, And so I saw nothing about it. I'm just a guy with muscle that just sits here, kind of. That's kind of the way I look at myself then. But so I have quite high self-awareness, and I've been through struggle before. So I know these things about the state, that I will feel differently about things even without them changing. Another thing changing affected me so that I feel differently about these other things. So I know that in a low state, you see the things, it's much easier to see the things you don't have. In my case here, I feel lonely. The human connection. I don't have a community close around me in the way I felt I had when I was in a gym, surrounded by people most of the day, So that's what I see, and I can't see these other things that I, like right now in a high state recording this video, definitely can see about myself, So, but since I know this, how it works, I mechanically go through it, right? Okay, but you have done this with your life, you take care of yourself very well, you're very, the way I live my life, I can't come up with anything that it's a good example for others to follow, I should be happy about it, but why can't I feel like it? Well, so that's what I was thinking is kind of, if I know the sun is shining, then why don't I see it? And the reminder I had to, because this is what I got stuck processing this whole thing, is why can't I see the sun if I know it's shining? And the thing is, I had to realize it's the nature of the state. It's just cloudy right now. Literally, when there are clouds in a way, you literally can't see the sun, but it is still there. And in a low state, that's what you have to know, to keep on struggling, to find that last thing to hold on to, is to know that even when you can't see that the sun is shining, it still is, And the metaphor works well too, because in my case, I got very, funnily, as the extreme extrovert I am, getting into a spot like this, it's the only time I get very withdrawn. It's interesting how us human beings work, right? It's contradictory to the way I feel lonely, but I don't feel like meeting people, But I had to some extent go, when it didn't happen naturally that I was just around people, I had to just more go out of my way to meet people. And so I don't feel like it a lot of the time. And this is the thing, it works so well with the sun and cloud example, that of course it's nicer to be outside when it's nice and warm, right? When the sun is shining, it's not cloudy and raining. But it doesn't mean that you sometimes need to go outside, even though the weather is not that nice, right? So that was the spot here. When I'm in that withdrawn, very low state, it is an expression of me not having as much energy to give. And literally in some, I shouldn't take on too much of that kind of thing. Social situations, I don't have to, because I don't have the energy to give, and that's why I feel that way. But sometimes too, it's the anticipation, going outside in this weather, it's gonna be, I don't like it, maybe I can just skip it, But then when you go outside sometimes, like, look, it's cloudy, but it actually isn't all that bad. And that's, that's how we come out. So do you see how it makes sense that in a lower state, when you actually have less to give like that, it's perfect. You would go outside more when it's nicer outside, but you still need to go outside sometimes when it's not quite as nice. So that's what I did. And eventually, the sun started shining more and more often. And all of a sudden, there was nothing but sunshine. And the solar night was risen again, flexing his biceps. always that the go-to. But yeah, guys, that's the reminder in the struggle, that at least for me, it's like my level up in my stoicism from this time around, because the seasons come and go. The sun doesn't always shine, sometimes there are clouds. And as I know, how you look at things then is different, You're gonna recognize this. You've been in a high state, when you're just on top of your shit and you just know everything. And all of a sudden, you find yourself in a spot where you can even remember, but I know these things, but I just can't see them right now, And then you can get back and be like, how could I forget these things that are now so clear to me? Well, it's the nature of the state. When there are clouds, you can't see the sun, but the sun is still there. And that's where I got stuck, how I leveled up this time. I think next time it's cloudy, when I find myself in a lower state, I'm going to be faster to remember that, okay, this is just how things are going to have to be right now. It's just time to ride out the storm. That I can't see the sun when there are clouds in the way is actually perfectly right. That's the way it's supposed to be. And now just wait for the clouds to disperse. Okay, guys, that's the little philosophical one for today. Please let me know in a comment what you think, and please comment anyway. All comments and likes help support the channel, so it's very much appreciated. And please like for more videos, or subscribe is what I want you to do also, for more videos about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, mental health, stoicism and philosophy. Fuck it, let's go for it. Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Peace.